Fox 29 lawyer Sherry O is here to break down those rules and find out what they mean for all of us.
That's
so
right.
Thanks for being here this morning.
Sure,
We
Keely.
look forward to seeing you every Wednesday. So let's start with the interest rates. We hear they're going up, but what exactly is happening and what does it all mean?
Right. Well, a few weeks ago, the federal government made some announcements and it drove interest rates up. But they came out a couple days later and clarified that they have no intention of driving interest rates up, and so things stabilized. But what really that was about, Keely, was it was the first time that we saw a significant increase in a long time, and it was a significant increase. In the big picture, though, rates are still lower than they've been for an entire decade, and certainly lower than they were at the peak of the bubble. So that was really more about perception than anything else. One thing it did do, though, is it made us all aware that rates eventually will go up and what that could mean. So, for example, if you've locked in a mortgage rate and you're looking for a home, and if you haven't locked in and rates go up, you may have to requalify again for a mortgage because you're going to be paying a different amount in interest, and so you're basically going to qualify for less money. So what we're seeing now, for example, a lot of buyers moving off the fence, and almost 100% of buyers locking in rates. So for anyone who's shopping for a home, if you haven't locked in your rate, you definitely want to do that, and that runs from 10 days to maybe 75 days. The other thing we know when rates go up is you can always buy down your interest rate if you want to do that. That makes sense if you're going to be staying in your home for a long time.
And there are other costs associated with mortgages as well, so that is changing as well. So
Right.
how is that going to affect us?
Well, here's the thing, and this is just as big, maybe even bigger impact for most buyers than the interest rates. For example, FHA, which impacts a lot of lower-end income buyers and also first-time buyers. It used to be that you only had to pay your mortgage insurance until you built up some equity in your home, and then you didn't have to pay your FHA mortgage insurance anymore. Well, now, because of the financial problems FHA experienced and all of the losses, you have to pay mortgage insurance on an FHA loan for the entire time that you own the home. Similarly, with Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, they charge what's called guarantee fees or G fees, which have gone up, and closing costs in general have gone up, Keely, because we know all these new rules that have come out to protect us. Well, if you hire a security guard at a party you have to protect you, you have to pay for that. That
Right.
costs. So these rules cost money, and they're getting passed on to all of us in the form of closing costs.
But before you do any of that, you actually have to qualify for said mortgage. But that's hard too. Why is that so hard?
Yeah, well, you know, again, some of these protections, by some estimates, if we were underwriting loans, in other words, approving loans by the same rules that we were doing during the bubble when all you needed was a pulse to get approved, about 20% more borrowers would be approved than today. So there are some things that you can do, though, to improve your chances, and those basically fall into the buckets of improving your credit score, which every 20 points on your score can lower your interest rate by about 1/8 of a point, and increasing that down payment. So the more you can save, the better terms and rates you're going to get. It will get easier, and the reason for that, Keely, is about 75% of loans have been refinances. Now that rates are going up a little bit, and everyone who wanted to refinance have already done that, so the banks are going to be bending over backwards a little more to get all of our business now.
And we just saw on that graphic there, AskSherryO.com. That's the place to go because that's
Absolutely.
a lot to
Any
digest
questions,
in a couple of minutes.
Just send me an email.
All right, thanks so much for being here. We appreciate it.